Hey guys, Dan here, and we are back with Melissa. Hello, buddy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, we are doing the Maisel season 4.
Yes, thank you for watching last week.
Yes, we had a lot of good views on the first episode, which is the first 2 episodes, and now we have episodes 3 and 4. And this is, like we said last time, quick season, 8 episodes,
Yes.
2 a week. So it's only a month of shows.
And a month of videos from us.
Which I like that part. I hate the part where it's only 8 episodes of the show.
I know, but as we said, we've got one more season, and maybe it'll be an extra large season because
I would like that.
I still feel like nothing here is getting super developed. Like, I'm not sure how we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, it seems quick. The 8 episodes seems quick to me.
So I'm
what they're doing so far.
Curious on where this is headed in this amount of time.
I agree. So episode 3 is Everything is Belmore, and episode 4 is Interesting People on Christopher Street. And we are keeping in line with exactly what you said at the end of episode 2, where we're now working at the burlesque house.
I know, I kind of feel like I was giving things away. Sorry, I know prior knowledge.
We didn't know.
We were just,
but that was...
I feel like that was an obvious setup.
Yes,
it
was a good setup.
That out, I don't know.
But they're really playing into it. I mean, most of Midge's scenes in that 3rd episode...
That's true.
Maybe the 4th, too, are at that club.
Yes, and I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere quick. She is in Midge style. It's going to be Midgeified, improved.
Yes,
safety. I'm the safety officer of
Right.
everything. I'm everybody's boss. She's laying down the law with some rules in the 4th episode. So it's. I expect to see her here at least another episode or 2.
I would think so. I mean, this may be a full season thing.
Really cranky about what this is doing to her career. So
yes.
I don't think we're gonna be doing this full time because this is nowhere to live.
I suppose that's true. And people keep wanting her to take her clothes off, of course. Because these are
So it's a strip club, but it's really it's a burlesque house. I would say.
I would say more of a burlesque house. Yeah.
What you would think. In modern day strip club.
Yes.
Essentially.
So I guess let's just sort of run over the plots, and then we can sort of get into our feelings.
Sure.
But we've got that big burlesque house plot, which we know, and then she's not really doing anything else in these 2 episodes. I mean, like I said, this is almost all of what she's doing for these 2. Was there anything major with her that I'm missing?
Not so much.
More with the family.
With Midge. We've got a lot of family.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of Susie.
So Susie is actually living with the family now. Which runs into some issues.
And that's really the whole theme of this 3rd episode is because we have lost a character. And I don't believe... Did we mention this?
No, I guess we
previously. But Jackie...
her old roommate.
Who worked at the Gaslight. He passed away in fall of 2019. The actor.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't realize that. So they killed off the character. So
and I'm trying to. Brian Tarantina played Jackie.
Okay.
And then he dies off screen of a stroke. In this episode.
In the episode, at the very beginning of the episode, I guess.
So even though he's sort of been gone and they've just been mentioning him here and there, they do a really nice tribute. So I didn't know if you didn't realize.
I actually didn't realize the real man died. Because look, he's not famous enough for me to have
I looked
known.
at other things. He does a lot of bit things, very small items. Like I couldn't.
But what's interesting is his death gives for me. One of the best scenes in either of these episodes is at the funeral.
I was going to say the funeral
where
was really...
Susie she goes to his funeral and basically no one's there. It's her, Midge, and like one other guy.
Chester. Who is our... So Chester was at Steiner, in the Catskills, and he kind of fingered Susie for not being a worker there. She was posing as a plumber. He was also posing as a worker there to get free food, and so he's basically been mooching and around and like also sort of
Catskills came up a couple of times.
They really brought that back.
They brought it again. I think it was at the church at the bar mitzvah. Or at the
because
whatever,
because Buzz Goldberg, I believe was his last name.
Has Goldberg or Goldstein, something like that.
It was Berg.
Yeah.
Wrote a musical, and we go to the musical, and so this ends up being this catalyst for a lot of the family plots.
Yeah.
In the next episode as well. It almost felt like one big episode to me.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense that they're doing them twice in a week because these two episodes really did feel like a supersized one episode.
I definitely...
Every thread of plot went through both.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess we're going all over the place again. But yeah, so Susie's living with them because of this guy's death. So yes, the funeral was not well attended. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yes, so Abe gives a horrible review in the newspaper, the Village Voice, to this play. And so at the bar mitzvah, shortly afterwards,
everyone's giving him the stink eye.
He gets attacked. Really, the whole family gets attacked. They start talking about her appearance at the Catskills and how she ruined that and X, Y, and Z.
And the mother and how she acts all the time.
Yes.
And it was uncomfortable, but... it's kind of what we've all been seeing from the outside as well. Mm-hmm. Is the way these people act, and they're just so bizarre. And
yes,
kind
there's
of
not
annoying.
much of a filter on many of them.
They do what they want. They say what they want. And they kind of feel like they're above everybody.
Yeah,
and they get called out.
They get called out constantly for it. Are we missing any major plots before we kind of dive in?
The name of the episode, The Everything is Belmore, is our last piece, and that's where we have Lenny Bruce coming back.
Oh, right.
To give Midge some advice backstage. Right. The Belmore refers to his high school or middle school, one of his school, junior high. I don't remember exactly what he says, but basically his teacher has said, I'm gonna she throws stuff at him to get him to be able to push through and ignore distractions, I believe is the way he puts it. And so when Midge gets on stage, he basically does the same to her.
Yes.
And this is her, Belmore. So we have that. And is any of the May situation going on in this episode? Or is that the next one?
End of 4, I think.
Well, so one of our other plot, it's hard to break them into two, so...
We're just sort of doing one up,
the other plot point is May, is resisting meeting Joel's parents.
Right.
Which I'm just waiting for.
I think that's going to
be this wonderful scene.
And we do see Jane Lynch again. We talked about her last time briefly in episode 4. She shows up and she wants Susie once again to take care of her, and
she has alienated everyone. She's out of money. She's been blackballed,
and she's apparently left the rehab center.
Well, I think she ran out of money.
Oh, okay.
Everybody is gone.
So they kicked her out. Yeah.
She can't even ride the elevator. Is just watch the elevator scene. It's priceless.
Now, did you like when she said NBC wants me to host a game show? Of course, as we know, Jane Lynch
didn't even think of that.
Hosts what's it called? The Celebrity Game Night on NBC, so I thought that was kind of fun.
That's fabulous. Nice. I didn't notice. Dana's so good with what network is playing what, and I'm not.
Well, and the other reason things stick out to me is when something is on one network and they reference a show from another network.
That's true.
You'll notice one of our favorite shows, The Middle, always used to talk about, is The Bachelor on tonight, and they would reference all these ABC shows, but Hulu is owned by, Amazon Prime, which is owned by nothing. Yeah. So, they can do whatever they want.
They can say what they want.
But, yeah, I just thought it was funny. They gave NBC a little nod there because of her.
I love that.
Yeah. But anyway, so we didn't see her very much. We'll see where that goes. But I always love seeing her.
But I think I think she's coming back. I think we're going to see. So
I hope so.
Susie does move out.
Yes,
she is going to get her own place. The two gentlemen who were supposed to kill her in, I think, season 1, maybe.
That's right. Forgot about that.
They basically offer her their safe house, which is, in fact, office space. So she's going to live in office space and do Susie Meyer and Associates. Did you see my prediction come true with the bar?
Yes. Yes, I did. That was awesome.
So it looks like the magician is going to be on board.
Yep.
It looks like she's going to do a little something for Jane Lynch.
Yep, we love that.
I'm a little concerned because the guys want a little taste of the profits.
Yeah.
They're not going to charge her, but she has said she was all, look at this view, I have a place, and they kept talking about the money, so I'm wondering how deep we're going to get in with that.
And very little bit, but stuff with the Susie legal issues with her sister.
That seemed to go away.
That seemed to go away. I thought we maybe had one scene with the sister, but maybe I'm misremembering from the other episodes. I don't remember the sister
at all.
Okay, so maybe that's out then.
I think there was somebody else who was somebody
woman. Was talking about it though, right?
I was like
in one scene. So yeah, I don't know. They can't have just washed that plot away. You wouldn't think.
I mean, maybe that was their way of getting out of it. The
maybe that now she's working there, so now everything's squared away. And maybe.
Everybody's been paid their money, so nobody is.
I guess that's true.
Looking for that.
But Midge has to. Let's go back to the main sort of focus at the burlesque house. Like you said, she was laying down the law. I love that scene where she tells the owner that he needs to knock. And, you know, if somebody's up next, you don't smack them on the butt. You can say their name. And, she really...
I was surprised
that's my other favorite scene, I think, in all of these.
I mean, I'm not sure if he's the owner, but he was. I was
manager
surprised.
Or something.
Yeah, manager. He's definitely the manager of the house of the show.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at how amenable he was to all of her.
I was too, but it seemed like everyone was definitely behind her on it. So maybe he feared a strike, a walkout, and people were in seats already.
If the ladies aren't going to take their clothes off, they have no show, and they're the ones who are benefiting from all of these different things.
I did think the same, that he was a little quick to say okay, like whatever, but I don't know. I feel like maybe he was just feeling the heat of the moment.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes.
I think that was moving in a good way.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
I would say I think that's really all of the plot for 3. 4 has a couple more pieces.
Okay, what did we not talk about with 4?
So we talked about May.
Right.
At the end when Abe has written this piece for the Village Voice, he also mentions about art and anarchy, and we have another great cameo.
Yes.
Jason Alexander is back as Asher.
Which I've been seeing him in many things lately.
He's in everything. Young Sheldon.
I'm watching the Harley Quinn animated series on HBO Max. He has a role in there as this neighbor across the hall.
He's in something else too that I've recently watched.
He always shows up.
Man is getting a ton of work.
Yeah, and I love it.
He has this southern thing that he does in I feel like he's got this weird southern voice that's
he's gone out of the Seinfeld New York
it's
range,
really
I feel
interesting.
Like.
It's almost.
But I think he really fits with Abe in this.
This is so funny.
It's so funny.
So the FBI is after them for setting a federal building on fire, and that's going to be a new threat.
What? I think that's what I was thinking for a second when I was mentioning the Susie thing because wasn't that a fire too?
Yes.
So I think I was getting confused about that.
Okay.
So you're right. They don't bring up the Susie thing at all. But this one, and then by the end of the episode, Abe's like diming him out left and right.
Oh yeah, I wasn't part of it.
Which was hilarious.
And it's all because Asher apparently dated Rose back in the 20s.
Way back in the day. Yeah.
They all had to be really young at this point though, because that's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
These people are not in their 60s yet because Midge is only in her late. Maybe almost 30, because she was in her 20s.
I don't know.
At the beginning of this.
Right.
And we've done 2 years, they've said.
Well, Jason Alexander, the actor, is certainly in his 60s.
Well, I know. I think
playing,
all of the. and I think so is.
I would think Shalhoub would have to be too.
But to date, the Maren Hinkle, the Rose character, I'm not sure.
Long time ago.
It's
20s for sure. Did they say 20s?
They had to have been in there, I guess, 20s
in their 20s.
Or like 19,
right,
18,
right,
like very young. He was working on his.
But so they get, interviewed by the FBI guy, and he basically is like, oh, well, I just was sitting in the car with him. I don't know what he did inside the building,
Which is, again, I feel like Abe is always getting himself out of things.
Listen, I said it last time.
Great at making excuses.
Abe is one of my favorite characters on this show, top 3 for sure. And I always side with him too. When everybody was ganging up on him at the bar mitzvah, I was like, Abe, you tell him off. And then he did. He said, look,
I was very
torn
it had one good song. The whole thing with that.
You can't have a musical with one good song. You know that.
You can't. I agree with him, and he was the one. I mean,
Here's the thing. They pay him to give reviews.
Right.
And he didn't like the show.
Right. No, I mean, that's true.
What can you say? I love the line Midge had that when she was like, if you give the money to... Or maybe he said it and she echoed it, but if you give the money to this... there's 10 shows that you're taking it away from.
Absolutely.
I loved that.
And I think she says it, but it's something he has said off camera.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Which I think, I mean,
yeah. But it was an excellent point regardless.
We're going to give... No, you are right. I understand where everyone's coming from. I am, but I don't know. I think the whole being... So, sometimes you'll notice, I feel, with certain ethnicities, there's this very, insular enclave of either the whole group or even the family. And being Italian, we end up we'll sort of defend. If you're in the family, you're gonna defend the person, even if they're wrong. Often,
I can understand
and that becomes
I can understand that.
I think I see
so he
was talking when they're like loyalty. I was like, oh yeah, there's what about the loyalty?
I guess. I mean,
wouldn't you like to have me loyal on your side?
Yes, I suppose. So, yes, of course, and I suppose. Not that my YouTube channel is The Village Voice or something, but I suppose if I was reviewing something from someone that I knew and their product, I guess I would probably
Are you going to
give it a higher
YouTube channels?
No, I wouldn't. This is true, I guess.
So then the very last one we haven't mentioned refers to the title of the second episode,
Christopher Street.
Interesting People on Christopher Street. Did you see that cameo?
I don't know.
John Waters.
Oh, yes, of course, where she's on the bench.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So Mitch
I watch so many shows, sometimes I forget who's on.
Well, I have to,
You're right.
go and, recap.
Yes,
so,
John Waters. Oh, my God. Literally... fabulous as ever.
Fabulous.
I hope this man stays with us until we all die because
and I'm from
we need him.
Baltimore.
So for you, right?
And my sister owned a deli in Hamden, so the whole. I saw him and I was like, John Waters.
Yes. She was trying to. Midge was trying to find out one of the few scenes she's outside the strip club. In these 2 episodes, but she trying to find out where a lesbian bar is, and of course who's there on the bench.
It's very interesting. At first I was like, why are we doing this?
I didn't quite get it either. Yeah.
What is the purpose here?
But she takes Susie there.
And I think this is the first time we've even hinted at anything.
I think so, too.
I don't want to say hinted.
Makes sense.
Because, obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
Susie dresses in men's clothing.
Very mannish.
Pretty much exclusively.
Yeah. It's literally something I never even thought about. Because we're so focused on Midge's sexuality and everybody else's,
and I think that's kind of Susie's point of view as well.
Right, she's almost asexual to a point.
I do. I think she's ace, and I think she makes that point to Midge.
That's right. Yeah. When they're there.
I can find my own
right. This is my town.
This is my neighborhood.
There's 3 gay bars on my street. Right,
I'm not looking for that.
Right.
Don't you understand?
I thought that was a great scene, too.
I thought that was great. I thought that was great character development for both of them.
Yeah.
It was a great fight. So we don't really see them together much after that for the rest of the
episode. That's right.
She does make up with her with the
note.
I
love that.
Forgive me with a $5 bill, which she said her line was she knows me so well. So
yeah.
I was like, yep, perfect. I love it. So
love it.
I'm glad that we're not probably going to.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on that. No. Yeah, I would rather them be.
So I wondered, was that
side.
Is this an episode where people were asking, and this is something they wanted to address?
Maybe
the creators,
the fans were asking. Maybe, yeah, could be.
Or is this something where we haven't? People have.
It's just nothing we've explored, I guess.
Yeah. So it's we're going into the 60s. Things are going to continue to loosen up.
Yeah.
Over the next 20.
Both of these episodes were very good Susie episodes.
Very good.
Because the funeral was in episode 3, which we didn't yet quite talk about that scene, but she goes over to that other funeral and basically is like, I never got to know this person, turns out I had a great friend in him and I didn't know it, and Very emotional. I definitely welled up during the speech.
She is so upset because we didn't
Very
say why
upset.
that nobody has come to this funeral.
Right.
She brings his funeral across the hall to this funeral that's well attended and gives his eulogy, and I just thought that was
strangers.
I thought that was really poignant and clever, and what the what the actor deserved, and really based on what we find out about Jackie, he did deserve to be remembered.
Seemed like a great person.
I mean, he was always
oh my gosh, all the stories that she told about him too, the Babe Ruth, and all the things he had done in his life that she never even asked him about or got to know more about.
And then we see his last words are all
for her
right, to
reminders.
Take care of herself.
Yeah, Monday's a holiday, so don't put the trash out Sunday night.
So I feel like he's always been looking out for her. And then I love the ending of that episode, which I don't know if you noticed or not. When they go back to the gaslight, they have his picture and whatever. And Jackie was always looking for an act, and that Susie was always like, "These are crap acts. Don't put that on stage." And it was always the ocarina music, and they have ocarina trio playing.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but yeah, you're right.
Well, I actually had to look up what an ocarina looked like to double check that's exactly what they were doing, because I thought that's what they were doing.
God, the layers of the Palladinos on this show is like.
Well, all of these things could go by you if you didn't take the chance, if you didn't know this and didn't.
Oh, and again, speaking of the brilliance of the timing of different things, so she's watching TV late at night all the time because she can't sleep, and they were having these different guests on the talk show. Alfred Hitchcock was on. Well, Psycho, the year was right on for that, and so again with the good.
I loved him.
The good historical
talking about. So you hear Hitchcock talking about what he's afraid of, and it's hard-boiled eggs. And you've got Chester eating the hard-boiled eggs.
That was great.
In the other
juxtaposition.
Scene. They've brought in so many little details, and Easter eggs and things like that.
And
you really have to pay attention.
One of your favorite things about the show is the rewatchability. So it's one of these things where I feel like they plant these things, like Arrested Development had that. I mean, you wouldn't get half the jokes until you watched it the fourth time.
Right, and I didn't do well doing that. Like I've since gone back and watched them. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I don't. That was not one that I did rewatch a lot.
Okay,
because I didn't watch it when everyone was watching it. I watched it later, and then I think I rewatched it again just to watch the fourth season.
I think that was one of the first shows where. Yeah, like I sort of noticed, okay, like these jokes are coming at you so fast. And then now that I've seen something like this, and in retrospect, watching Gilmore Girls, very similar.
Yeah.
I guess any show where there's like a lot of fast talking, you sort of miss some things.
That's their signature. People have complained for years about Gilmore Girls being too fast with too many references.
I'm actually
clever,
as a result,
too much.
I'm surprised my parents started watching this show and love it. Because I just figured the dialogue would be too fast-paced and snappy.
I think my parents enjoy the overarching story.
Okay.
I know my mother loves a period piece and my father loves anything where people are getting naked.
Sure.
So
that's the combo.
Basically, that's why how they can watch Outlander together.
Right. Too much nudity on Outlander for my parents. They had to give it up.
But honestly, I am always really reluctant to recommend any comedy to them.
Same.
Because they don't like anything that I like.
Right. I didn't know they were even watching it until my mom brought it up a few weeks ago. She said, I didn't even know they had Amazon Prime. But she said they're watching it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. What a great show. And she's like, oh, you watch it too. And exactly. Like, I don't bring it up because
I think this one was one I recommended. I think I recommended Grace and Frankie.
Okay.
And they were able to handle that. But these are the people who also love Mike and Molly and 2.5 Men. And they love
denominator shows, as they say.
Well, as we say.
I do say
if you like these.
Yeah.
And I did like
2.5 Men stinks. I'll just say it. The first 2 seasons were fine.
I was going to say, at the beginning it was okay, and then it just tanked.
I almost recommended, actually, as we're going off on this tangent, the Kaminsky Method to my dad. I thought maybe he would like that since they're kind of his age.
I think that was too slow for them. I don't think I would have been able to do it.
That might be too sexual for my dad. I don't know.
Oh, so you can't be sexual enough for my parents.
I don't know.
They're so funny. We were actually talking about some shows. They were here this weekend, and they were talking about some shows that their friends have said they've had to watch without their spouses because they couldn't watch things in front of them
or whatever.
to watch them together. I was like, this is your spouse. It's not your parent.
Crazy.
which was very.
But your parents love Cards Against Humanity. Whereas my parents would be just, pale in the face.
My mother's
if we
pale
even said that.
My mother can't handle it.
But she hangs though, at least. She'll play
because she doesn't want to be made fun of.
Yeah, all right.
She only wants to.
My mom doesn't care about that. We make fun of her all the time.
I mean, we do, but there's only so much butt of the joke.
But yes, I guess it makes sense because my parents would have grown up in this era. They would have been 9 and 10 in 1960. So
my
I guess that does
both
make
born
sense.
Basically when my parents were born in 57 and 58.
Okay.
So this is familiar.
Right, familiar enough through their upbringing.
My mother was born in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
My family would they bet that the whole New York thing. There are all these things that would really interest to them.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
all right. What else do we love about this episode? These episodes. Hate.
When I finished watching, I was like,
we've said some good scenes.
You
don't know where it's going.
I don't know where it's going, which maybe I'm uncomfortable
Are they starting too many threads with only 4 episodes left?
Well, there were a lot of threads because I guess we wrapped up a couple, which maybe I feel
I guess if we're not
about.
talking about the Susie and sister thing anymore, that's over.
And we don't seem to be talking about this musical anymore.
That's kind of over.
But we've got this other tangent with the FBI, but I feel like we've already been in trouble with... the CIA. His son works for the CIA.
A little repetitive at this point with that.
He just keeps being in trouble with the government, and it's so funny because he's such a rule follower, and everything needs to be just so, and he gets really mad about certain things where you would think he'd be not an anarchist.
Yeah, he's
but
an
it really seems like he's
character.
It's the opposite. I mean, he's working for the Village Voice, for goodness sakes, which I thought was. Really, I don't want to say out of... I mean, he's a math professor. I don't know. There's just so many,
There's a lot of layers to Abe that...
he needs his
I love why he's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Or one of them, I should say. All right, so we didn't necessarily love anything or hate anything. I did love a couple of things. I love the funeral scene.
I love the funeral scene. Anytime they bring the Lenny Bruce character in,
yeah,
I love
that's
that.
good. That's good. I want them to bring Wanda Sykes back.
I don't think they're going
I don't think they're going to either. She was part of the Shy Baldwin. They do mention Shy Baldwin, though, in this.
He's completely ruined her entire
trajectory
although
they haven't mentioned in these 2 episodes the rumors that were going around.
About Shy?
Yeah, remember they started that in the 2nd episode this season.
So...
In the tabloids.
But he got engaged.
Oh, I guess okay. So they just wiped all that away.
That was it.
But I mean, the rumors about her though.
Which rumors?
When that lady came on in episode 2 and was at the diner and look at
we said are they going to keep?
Yeah, they never that never
she's
festered.
She's not doing stand up anymore.
I guess that's true. Now that
she's one place
and nobody's reviewing that.
No one's reviewing the strip club. Who
I guess
cares?
That's true.
I thought it was interesting. Did you notice? From the first episode, from the beginning of seeing the burlesque house to the last scene in the burlesque house, how many more women were in the audience?
Yeah.
And how many more people were in the audience?
And how much more they were enjoying the jokes.
Yes.
Because that first episode we saw, she might have gotten a chuckle here or there, but mostly everybody was like, take off your clothes, where's the next broad? And actually, I wanted to ask you about that because you did not really care for the material in the first couple episodes this season. I thought her bits at the burlesque house were pretty funny.
I think she's doing better.
Yeah.
I think she's being able to play to the audience.
Yeah.
That she has.
Well, and she knows the audience. She knows their mindset. Unlike when you're out on tour, you don't know. You're in a different city every night.
She did go over to Joel's to try out some material.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see that, so we assumed that...
I wanted to see it.
I wanted to see it, but also she says she's trying it out for the burlesque house. You saw the material. Cause
I guess that's true. Then she ended up doing it. All right, that's true.
We assume that she worked out the kinks and everything.
Okay.
I think it's I think it'll be interesting to continue to see the May, mid,
Yeah, it's almost a triangle at this point.
It's so hard not to root for him, even though he was the real jerk. He cheated on her.
I know.
I almost want to root for them together, but I don't.
I do root for them together. I still do.
I feel like I
Nothing
shouldn't,
against
though.
May. She's fine.
I do root for them together, but I feel like like as like a feminist, as a woman. Like I feel like there's all these reasons I shouldn't be rooting for them. She doesn't need a man. Like
she doesn't.
Like, this is the problem.
Listen, Susie doesn't need a woman either. I mean, we
Susie
know.
has shut that down.
We all know.
I actually don't think that storyline's going anywhere else.
I don't think so either. I think that was sort of
fine.
That was them.
But I really wanted to see more of that. I mean, I just kind of want to see, but that Susie's like, that's not my life right now.
Yeah.
Susie, Meyer, and
love it.
So.
All right. So yeah, I was going to say we were trying to get this in about a half hour. So I don't think I have anything else. Love the John Waters cameo, of course.
So we've got four
more left.
We're going to do 2 more episodes, and we will grade at the end.
Yes, we're going to grade overall. We're not going to do episode by episode because it's so hard. How can you when there's so many
They thread it.
There's too many threads.
Not
too many threads
enough to do it that way. It's not the Connors. It's not.
Yeah, and certainly when they're doing 2 in a row like this, they all blend together for me because I watch them back to back, like I think most people do. So it's like to grade each one individually would be insane. So yes, we'll do that. So yeah, we'll see everybody again next week with more Maisel. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.